G'day folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve this crazy 3x3x2. This is a Dayan product and you can still get this. It's been around for a couple of years but they're still in stock, so I'll leave the link in the description as to where you can get it. Well worth having in your collection. So it's a 3x3x2 puzzle. On the white face the circle pieces turn with the face, on the yellow face the circle pieces don't. But hang on a minute, what if I put those corners up? Now the white circle pieces do not turn and the yellows do. What if I only put one side of them? The white pieces do turn. Now what that tells us is that there is a single corner on this puzzle which is called the lock piece, and it locks the circle pieces to it. And on mine that corner happens to be the white, red, blue piece, and I say it happens to be because I believe they're different on every puzzle. So yours could be the yellow, blue, orange for all I know. But you'll know how to find it because you can, by process of elimination, figure it out and know that if you thought it was one of these two, then you'd probably say, what if I thought it was this one? I'd turn this one off and I'd find, oh hang on, no, that's not locked, so I'm guessing now it's this one, and turn that one off just to double check, and it is. So that's the lock piece that locks the center parts. But the other pretty cool thing about this puzzle is that if you turn that up into the center there, there's no way in the world you'd ever pick that this would happen, but it does that. You can actually turn that 180 degrees. I know, I don't understand it either. Now, what will happen is if you've done that move, in the scramble, or in the solve I should say, at the end you'll have two swapped outer corners. Now, the fix for it is simply to do the move, 180, put it back down, and then resolve. And because of that, I'm not going to include it in the solve. I think it's an interesting enough solve without it. Alright, so the first step in getting this back solved is to complete the circle edges, and to do that we just turn them up. They can't go anywhere else. And having done that, we're going to go about doing the circle corners. You can get a few different configurations, but basically we're trying to do something like put some together, turn that white face back and bring them back, and that's about it. Now if you had, there's another configuration that I'll show you. It's about the only other one you'll need, and it's where you've got all the stuff done except two on the right here that are not. And what you do to deal with that is right, back, right, back. I'm sorry it's not harder than that, but that's it. That's about as much as you'll encounter. That's the circle pieces done, and we don't have to think about them anymore. Now then what we've got to do is identify the lock piece, which is white, blue, red on this one, and start solving the edges around that white, red, blue corner, or whatever corner yours is. Now, being on the white face, I know that this has got to be white, red, this has got to be white, blue. So let's firstly go about placing that white, red edge. Now you'll notice the following. If I say, well, I'm going to move this white, red edge up to here and three cycle those pieces, well, let's do it. The first problem is that because I've sort of involved that white, red, blue piece, it's actually pushed it out of the way anyway, so I haven't really accomplished anything. But the other thing is, if I try and do it from over here, and let's say I'm going to turn these three, I'm going to, every time it does it, you can see that the circle face is disrupted. So what that means is that when we do this, we want to be turning whichever face does not have the circle piece on it, or the lock piece on it, I should say. So if I was going to be cycling these three pieces to put the white, red over here, what I would do would be turn that off first, put it down the bottom there, and now I can go ahead and, in fact, where is it? Yeah, it's that one. Cycle the three pieces in a standard fashion. That places the white, red. Then I can bring it back. The circle parts are maintained. This is the yellow, red, which is now in position as well. So then I'll go and do the white, blue and the yellow, blue. So I've got a yellow, blue here which needs to go down to there. So I want to cycle those three pieces. So I'll turn the lock piece off, do the cycle, and then turn it back, and you can see that yellow, blue is placed. And the white, blue is next, and so that's over here at the moment. Now the lock piece is here, so what I'm going to do is cycle it around to something like that, and that would mean because the lock piece is on the top, I can turn the bottom face quite freely. So I'll turn that, put it on, undo those moves, and what that does is put that piece there. It's left the others intact, and I now want to get it up to this position. So in order to get it to that position and just use those three pieces, got to get the lock piece out of the way and then cycle those three. Okay, that's done. I can put that back. You can see we've made the block there. That's accidental. That probably won't normally happen. What else have we got? Red, blue, and we've actually got the orange and the green done as well. And the important thing is just to double check that you've got the whites or the greens and the orange in the correct place, because you can see from this corner that that is correct. The oranges go here and the greens go here, not the other way around. If normally it wouldn't happen like that, so let's just assume we'd have something such as maybe that scenario in the end. So we'd have these bits solved and probably one of these other bits was solved, and that being the case, we would then say, alright, what's got to go where? The white orange has got to come here. No, the white, and this is what I was talking about, that's the blue, so the greens has got to be over here. So in fact, that's got to go there, that's got to go there, that's got to go there. So the three cycle we want to do is this to here, be turning the bottom face, the lock pieces on the top, and so I know that I can carry that out now. And that puts us back to where we were, but I did want to demonstrate that. So once you've done this block, it's a fairly straightforward after that, and that completes the circle edges. Now, for the last step, the circle corners, we are going to need a corner piece series, and I've left myself here with only 3 to do, which is pretty unusual, and I might cut now to a situation where there's a lot more than that. Okay, well this is probably a little bit more realistic, and you can see the lock piece has the edges. In fact, all the edges are done, but we've got a lot more corners that are still to do. Now, on a normal 3x3x2, we would simply use the corner piece series for cuboids, and that will take a cycle of those 3 corners like that. It's a very simple move. If we do that on this one, no matter where we have that lock piece, it's going to muck up the circle face. So we need something slightly different, which is in fact a corner piece series for cuboids followed by another one. Let's have a look at it on a solved cube now. Alright, well on this solved cube, what we're going to do first is locate the lock piece either at the bottom right or the bottom left. I'll start with it at the bottom left. Going to do a corner piece series for cuboids. And the one that I just did was a clockwise turn of the upper face first. Now you can see that it's completely messed up the circle corners. So that alone is not good enough. It has actually moved the 3 pieces where we would expect, but what if we now do a an anti-clockwise corner piece series for cuboids? So instead of turning the upper face clockwise, I'll now turn the upper face anti-clockwise and bring my left face away. Alright, a few things to notice. The circle pieces are all back where they started, and we have a 3 cycle of outer corners. And so instead of the 3 cycle being those 3 pieces, we now have these 3 pieces here. And the direction is yellow, blue, orange has gone to there. So the back left, the up back left goes to the up back right. The up back right has gone to the down front right, and that down front right has gone to the up back left. Now, that means that we can also do the same thing if we wanted to do holding it here. So we have it at the lock piece at the down front right position. We would then be able to cycle, instead of pieces like that, we would cycle them in the opposite direction by doing an anti-clockwise one first. And so that's how we can cycle around 3 outer corners. Alright, so what that means is that we want to have that white, blue, red lock piece down in the bottom right or the bottom left for a start, depending on which one we need to do. And I'd like to do a logical solve, so I'm first going to get the piece opposite it, and that's the white, orange, green. So I'm going to locate that. It looks like it's over here, and I've got to place it into that position. So because I know that there's 2 pieces on the top which are going to move. I'm going to say the white, orange, green's got to go that yellow, blue, red. I'm going to set up that by putting it there. And if I want to do that, it's going in this direction. So, in fact, what I'll do, just start back there. I'm going to have that there. I'm going to set up by a right turn and then an up prime. And now I know that my piece direction will be like that, and I can place that white, orange, green. So that's the setups, right to up prime. Now I carry out my first corner piece series, and you'll notice now the upper face will start bringing circle pieces with it. That's that one done. And now I do the opposite, the mirror one. Okay, now remember what my setups were. They were right to, then an up prime. So I undo that with an up and then a right to. Now let's take stock. There's the lock piece, and I've placed that one opposite it on the bottom. These are the other two pieces I want to use. Now I've got that one in position, so let's use this piece as my third piece now and go about placing the ones on the top, and specifically this one here, the yellow, blue, red, because what I'd like then is to be left with these two, and that one is my final 3 cycle. So the yellow, blue, red has got to go over to here. Now instead of doing strange and bizarre setups, what I'm going to do is actually move it to this position, or in fact I'll move it to this position. So we'll do a cycle like that, then it'll be down here, then I can turn the upper face and move it back to that position. So to move it to this position, you know what we do, normal corner piece series, followed by an anti-clockwise one. Okay, and you can see now there it is down there. Next step, I'm going to place it into this position by turning that one turn and cycling those 3 pieces. Okay, now I did one turn of a setup, so I'll undo that, and I'll note that that's in position now, and that'll leave me with 1, 2, 3 pieces here which now need to cycle. You can see that they actually do need to cycle in the correct direction. If they needed to cycle in the opposite direction, all you'd need to do would be 2 lots of this sequence. We only need to do 1 to finish it off, and so we'll carry that out now. That's the clockwise one, and now the anti-clockwise one. And you can see that it has cycled those corners home, and all is well. As I said at the start, if you end up with a couple of corners here that need swapping, then you've done the secret move. You need to undo the secret move, which is that, and then resolve. As it is, that is the crazy 3x3x2 solved.